Hey guys, it's TechRain here, and welcome back to another PC case review. Today we're reviewing the Montech King 65 Pro PC case. That is right. If you guys do not know, we reviewed another version of this case, which is the Montech King 95 Pro, which was probably my favorite case of actually 2024. And on top of that too, I used it for my dad's build because first of all, it came with 6 fans that were RGB. On top of it too, it had a nice way of putting hard drive cages in the back of it, which was my favorite thing about that. And on top of that too, the build quality was pretty good. The only problem with that case, which it was $160, but for what we were getting, it was honestly worth it in the long run. And today we're gonna check out this case here. It's similar to that, which is the 65 version, which actually has total of 3 fans that come with it. It has a hard drive cage feature in the back like the Montech King 95. And on top of that, it only cost $80, half the price of the 95, which is kind of crazy to think about here today. So I want to review it with you guys to see if it's actually good or not. And I plan to use this case for actually a PC build video for a $2,500 build video. So if you don't want to miss out on that, definitely get subscribed. And for right now though, let's get into the unboxing. So first we're gonna do is open this thing from the top here. Also do need to open it on the sides because some of these boxes that have been recently coming in have had tapes on the side, which is kind of annoying to deal with. Not the worst thing in the world. There was a little bit of damage right here from like UPS, so hopefully there's nothing wrong with the case in itself. Supposedly this case is smaller than the 95 version, but not by a whole lot. Here's how it looks right out of the box. Carefully set this on its side. Probably not that I accidentally set my little plant flying. I have like this dragon fruit cactus thing I'm growing. Took a minute. So I'm really trying not to send it flying if I can. That would kind of suck. I'm kind of curious to see if this PC case is really good though, because if it's $80 and has all the features as the 95, I think it might be the best case for 2025, possibly. But the other case you could get is like the Montech XR, which I think either one of these two cases are really good. This case is just $10 more than that one. The one thing I am noticing comparing it to the 95 is that it doesn't have that curved glass. So it's a perfectly like box size, so you can see like there's no curve here. Usually there'd be a curve on the 95, but on the 65 it actually doesn't have that, but looks pretty good. It doesn't have the clear through glass you can see easily through, but me personally, I don't care about RGB. There's a bit of RGB fans in here which will kind of hurt it because of the glass, but I'm not too concerned about that. But here's a full array around. Looks pretty good. I love how this case looks. Even though it's kind of cube, I don't particularly care. So if we want to open the front panel to this actual case, what we need to do is go to the back side here. There's actually a little nub here, and all you want to do is unscrew this nub, and then it just pops out by pushing it forward. So it just pops out, then you just lift it, and it's really nice. It's easy to uninstall because of these actual nubs on the top here that you just like put a shit in and pull it out, depending on what you're doing. But you can see right off the rip, the inside we got a rear fan, which is a nice 120 exhaust fan, and then we have 2 additional, I think they're 120s, or actually no, those are 140 millimeter fans set for intake. Now these are RGB or ARGB fans. I'm pretty sure they're ARGB, so not the fanciest thing in the world, but they'll do pretty good for actually lighting and also for cooling down your system too. Now for the front side, all they do is push it from the top here, like the nubs, the same thing on the side, and then you just lift it up, and that's how we get access to the full interior of this case, which I will quickly say, the look of it is pretty nice. My only problem with this is like stained black glass, so it isn't like just clear through glass. It's just going to be harder to see your components if you do want to like showcase them. So if you're not into RGB and you like a subtle RGB, this is the kind of case you might look into. But if you're someone who wants to show off your components and the RGB in it, this might particularly be the best. I don't know why they went with stained black if they could have just gone with normal glass. Once you do open the front side of the case, you will get access to your screws for mounting your motherboard and all the additional stuff for actually the case, which is in this little pouch here. So you can see all of your stuff is inside there, so you won't have to lose anything. We'll set this back there for the time being. And of course, these are a dual chamber, so all you have to do to unlock the dual chamber is just turn this nub on the bottom. I'm gonna have to grab a screwdriver for this. And there's one on the top too, so you have to remove the one on the bottom, and the additional one up here on the top is kind of in a weird angle. You have to remove both these nubs if you want to get access to the dual chamber feature. With that though, we have those 2 nubs. We don't lose them. We can now move our little fan area. So you can put in the front if you want to do like some weird intake stuff, or you can move around however you want. For me personally, I'm just going to leave it where it is for the time being. It's weird. When you pull it out, it actually like moves around because of siding. So you actually have to push it inward before placing it back in. Cool thing is that there are grommets for cable management, which is pretty nice. I was honestly not expecting that for like the $80, but it's cool to see that's actually here. But that's really the only grommets you actually have. Everything on the bottom of the I/O for the motherboard is just normal, no grommets to it. And same thing with the top. Now, if we go to the back side of the case, we can actually see our little cage area for our hard drive. So if you like a nice little hard drive bay area and you don't want to have to like go in the back side of the case to get access to your hard drives, this is what I like about this case and also the Montech King 95 is that you can open this little back sleeve here and you just untighten this, pull its nub up, and then you get access to two hard drive cage for two 3.5-inch hard drives. So you can pull some full-size hard drives, and there's two cages automatically come with it, which is so nice for someone who's like me, who does a lot of creative applications. So I like to put everything on SSDs. Then I have a script later that writes everything over to hard drives. So this makes it just easier for me to uninstall hard drives and hot swap them just in case if I want to do something. If you want to install a hard drive actually to this, we have this random, just some random hard drive. There's some nubs on the actual bottom of these cages and also on the side. So you just line up these nubs right here with this holes of the actual hard drive. And we line those holes up with the nubs. It'll just pinch into place. So all we have to do is line this on up, lift it ever so slightly, and it'll just clip into place. So that's pretty nice. That's what I really like about this. And then you can just install your drive by slipping it on in. So yeah, the hard drive capability of this one is probably my favorite thing about this actual case. Also on the back side too, you do have your 4 fan screws to remove your rear fan, because most times around you have to uninstall your rear fan before you install your motherboard. So that's how you uninstall that. And then you got your actual back plates for your GPU for your 2 and 3 slots. And it's kind of awkward because like it's inside the case ever so slightly. They did add a little bit of a divot right here from the inside of the case for your screwdriver. So if you want to put your screwdriver on in, you can easily get access to your 2, 3, and 4 slot for your actual back plates for your actual GPU. Because most times around you never use the 1 slot. It's kind of just there. You can kind of uninstall it and realize, oh wait, I was supposed to use 2. I've done a ton of times. And all you have to do to uninstall them is unscrew it ever so slightly. And then you just grab the screw, make sure not to lose it. And then the thing will just fall out. And if you want to place it back in, you can just line it up like so, with the divot, push it back in, and then take a screw again and carefully reinstall it back in. For the top side of the case, if you want to get access to it, all you have to do is literally lift the top side up, and there's some nubs like all the other sides, and it'll just pop off, which is easy, which makes it so nice for just like uninstalling your IO. So this does support a 360 radiator, 240 to 120, which is pretty awesome. And it's really easy to get installed. So I plan to install radiator when I do the PC build video. So I'm gonna say it again, if you don't want to miss out on that video, definitely get subscribed, because I'll be using a 360 rad and show you guys how to install it there. Now to get access to the back side of the case, there'll be a little nub here. You want to just turn it righty-tighty, or not righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I don't know, it's like you just untighten it. And then once you untighten, same thing as the front side, you pull the nubs off and lift it up, and then you get access to the back side of the case. Now for the back side of the case, if you want to go any further with it, you're gonna have to untighten these 2 screws right here and here. Once you untake these screws though, you can actually just lift this on up, and you get access to the manual for the case for the additional stuff. And we actually have access to our drive cage back here, and you can install your power supply right here. So it has a way to install your power supply, have the backside point here for your screws, and then you can just place it in here. And yeah, it has a lot of space, so you have a lot of places to cable manage. Now for the backside, you actually do have a few different things. You have a little fan hub down here, so you can install all your normal fans for the 4 pins, and on the bottom is some ARGB connections, which is pretty nice. So you have a lot of actual I/O to connect all your stuff. Then all you have to do, the power of the actual fan hub is actually plugging the SATA cable to SATA power. Now for connections on the actual case, you have a Type-C connection, a USB 3 cable, 1 fan header cable, an HD audio cable, then a front panel connector, which is just going to be like your power switch, reset switch, and just all the other necessities for your actual case. These are my favorite connections because I don't have to plug in multiple little things all at once. I can just plug in this one thing and we're good to go. I wish this was the new standard. They haven't made it standard in every case yet. And the other thing we have is an ARGB connection for actually the fan hub. So this fan hub connects here, and then all of them run to this actual one connector right here, and you just plug this and you're good to go for your case fan. I love it when it's like a fan hub's already in the case, because it just makes it easy. You got your fans, plug this in, got your fans powered, and then you got this for the RGB or ARGB. Now for front panel connections, we have a few different things. First of all, we have a Type-C port, we have a USB 3 header, another USB 3 header. So the bottom one is your 3.5 millimeter for your actual mic. And the top one is a lane out for your like headphones or any devices you want to hook up to it. Then we have an LED button right here, so you can switch the lighting on it. And then the power button, righty tighty. And all we want to do, if we want to close this back side of the case, we just pull those back down, take those two small screws from earlier that we didn't lose. We do that one there, and then we do the other one on the opposite side over here. So we're just going to take the nub here, make sure it's lined up with the back of the top. And then there's some slips on here that actually grab onto the bottom of the case. We want to clamp it right here and right here from a top down angle. So we're just lean that on in and clip it via the nubs. And then we can just screw in our actual back screw. Now for the front side of the case, all we want to do is take our glass panel. Of course, there's two little slips right here. We want to make sure they line up with little slip holes on the actual bottom of the case. From top down at an angle, lean on in, and then just clip it from the top of the nubs and push it in. Now for the side of the case, it's the same thing as the back side. There'll be two slips here. You want to line it up with here and here from a top down angle, and then push the nubs in, and then screw it on the back. And for the top side of the case, it's really easy. You just line up the nubs, push it down. And that is how you close your case. So let's go over my final thoughts now on the Montech King 65 Pro PC case. So I think is good. What's my honest thoughts about it? Well, I just want to give it quickly the big thing that $80 for what you get is pretty crazy. I think comparing this to its predecessor, the Montech King 95 Pro, which was the best case in 2024, it looked good, had great features, and honestly was good build quality. I think this has all those features, but at half the price. And besides the glass being a bit tinted black, which I'm not too much of a fan of it, but then again, I'm building this case more just to not have RGB in the first place. So I'm not really too worried about it because there's a little bit of RGB in it. I would have preferred this case to have been something like, yeah, it's a similar to the Montech King 95. They just have normal glass. I don't know why they tinted it black. I don't think there's an actual price difference. If they could switch that, I'd be super happy with that. Or maybe you could like pay like $10 for this case. It comes with like two different shades of glass. So if you're on someone who likes RGB, but you want to keep it somewhat subtle, I could recommend this case. But if you're a gamer who wants to actually just show off their PC, I would still go with the Montech, XR. But if you're someone who are looking for the additional features that you can't get on that actual case, like the hard drive cage, where you can install two of them with ease, and also the 5 SSDs, the nice I/O in the front, you got your USB-C, you got your mic in, mic out. Like, I think this case compensates by its actual features. But yeah, that's my honest thoughts about a Montech King 65 Pro. I think it's a great case. I think it's honestly cool what you get for the price. But if you're not into the aesthetic, then it might not be the case for you. But if you guys enjoyed this review video here today, make sure to smash the like button and get subscribed so you don't miss on future tech videos, because later here we're going to be doing a nice $2,500 PC build inside of this case. It's going to be insanely powerful. I'll give you a little bit of tease. We're going to use the Ryzen 9 9950X. Just imagine the actual performance we're going to get. The motherboard though is a bit excessive, but I don't want to spoil any more than that though. If you want to see that video, definitely get subscribed, and I'll see you for my one tech rant.